members of Kwara State para-athletes has made a call on Mallam AbdulRahman AbdulRazaq, Kwara State Governor, to caution and investigate the alleged excesses of Mr Bolakale Mongaji, the Executive Chairman, Kwara State Sports Commission. The group, under the chairmanship of Teslim Balogun, the team captain, accused the chairman of Kwara State Sports Commission, Mr Bolakale Mongaji, of nepotism, favouritism and diversion of funds meant for para-athletes to another things.
In a speech read on behalf of the association's chairman, Teslim Balogun, by another executive of the association, Femi Ogundere, the chairman, on behalf of the members of the Kwara State Sports Athletes, called for the need for immediate caution and investigation into the activities of Mr Bolakale Mongaji, the executive chairman of the Kwara State Sports Commission.
Sports Commission has encouraged nepotism. Nepotism.
Buttressing his points, other members of the association, represented individually by a deaf, blind, outside representatives, and others, call for better welfare for their members.
Asking for, all we are just asking for is better welfare of people living with special needs. Ms. Teslim Balogun, the overall captain of person living with special needs who are into sport. Sir, the para-athletes of Kwara State Sports Commission, we are just calling for a caution and investigation of the Kwara State Chairman Commission. Mr Bolakale Mongaji, the money that is meant for people living with special needs, the fund was being diverted into another thing. So we are calling for this so that the state government will look into this issue. They should help us to caution him and investigate, most especially the 20 million that was meant for the Abuja Games, which is para games, that was being held from 9th to 16th April this year, 2022. We want them to investigate it. Because when we are in Abuja, you know, Governor AbdulRahman AbdulRazaq was in the venue with us. He's the only governor that showed up during the games. We really appreciate him for that. Because being at the game give Kwara State more morale so that we can participate. And he mentioned it during that time that 20 million was being released to Mr Bolakale Mongaji, the Chairman Commission. So that is why.
My name is Oyadini Olatubosun Felix, the North Central Representative, Paralympic Committee of Nigeria. Sir, when we want to go for para game in April, firstly, we heard that there is no money. But when we cry out and we know that our governor is a God-loving, is a God-fearing person and a love person living with disability, and we believe that if we met him, if we raise our voice, he will answer our request. And we did. And the state government, the person of His Excellency, Mallam AbdulRahman AbdulRazaq, released the sum of 20 million for para game. But to our surprise, we heard that because when the governor met us at the Abuja, on his speech, he made mention of releasing 20 million for this game. But to our surprise, when we get to Abuja, because of all this problem we are having at the initially, so we could not agree on our allowance, what they will pay us. But on getting to Abuja, we get to know that they want to give us 3,000 per day, which cannot even sustain us to buy food, not to talk of coming home with something good. We have our own family. We also want to take care of our children. We want to take the goodies of life. But to our surprise, the executive chairman say he only received 15 million that out of the 20 million, the governor used 5 million. The government says you use 5 million for something else, that the governor send him some message and he has used the 5 million for it. So we fared bad, and we are so sorry. Even the issue of this 15 million, that it get to a point. Some of our athletes say we are not going for defense, and we say no. To the glory of God, we go, we soar, and we conquer. On the medal table, we came 9th. In the history of Kwara State, we came 9th, and all the promises made to us is that when we come, there will be an award. Up till now, we have not heard anything about the award. The issue of equipment, where we are going to Abuja, none of the athletes was given any equipment. We use our own personal equipment, believing that when we come, they will buy another equipment for us so that we can be training with it for subsequent event. But to our surprise, the money that meant for para game equipment, they are now sharing it to every association in the sport council. Even the footballer, the able body, the money that it's meant for us, and this equipment money is meant for individual equipment. For example, like as I'm playing table tennis now, maybe they will buy me a racket that's rubber, the racket made up of wood, rubber, solution, grip, and balls. But to our surprise, they are just sharing 80,000 for one department, another 85,000 for maybe tennis, 80,000 for table tennis, which cannot even sustain for 2 athletes. So we are highly disappointed, and we are calling for the authority to please investigate this matter.
Sunana Mallam Magaji, chairman na Parasoka na Guragu na jihar Kwara. Gaskiya abubuwan da suke damun yan uwanmu a garin nan, musamman Guragu, abun yana damun mu sosai. Hakika muna da gwamna Mallam AbdulRahman AbdulRazaq wanda yake son al'umma kuma yana son jama'a. Amma yau mun waye gari muna da wani shugaba a stadium wanda yake cewa Chairman Bola Magaji, cutar da mu yake kawai a rayuwarsa, bai damu da problem, bai damu da matsalar mu ba. Domin an waye gari mun yi tafiya a 2020 a wannan shekarar watan Ramadan, mun je Abuja program, so at least gwamna ya muna release kudade kusan miliyan 20 ya bamu. An waye gari cikin kudaden nan ko miliyan 5 ma ba mu samu a ciki ba. Sannan kuma mutane mu sun dawo garin nan sun koma suna begging a bakin titi, kuma mun san wannan gwamnan baya so jama'a mu suna bara. So a cikin kudade na yayi muna shirin cewa akwai abubuwan da ya kamata yi mu musamman na kasassu na musamman. An waye gari ya zo ya dauki kudade namu ya je ba masu wanda suke lafiyan su lau, ba abin da ya same su, kafafun su suna aiki, mu kuma ba mu aiki, bai kula da mu kuma yace zai saya mana abubuwa da zai taimaka mana, bai yi muna ba. So shine muke kira dan Allah dan Annabi a wannan gwamna Mallam AbdulRahman AbdulRazaq ya duba ya taimaka wa yan uwanmu aiki, domin bara ya ishe mu, ba ma san muna zama a bakin titi muna begging, domin duk wasu garuruwa da yawa ba sa begging, musamman yan support da Parasoka. Only Kwara State ne kawai ake bara da sauransu, kamar Ibadan, Oyo State, Kano, Sokoto, Abuja, Katsina, Yobe, Maiduguri, duka ba sa begging. It's not begging, but only Kwara State.
I am Lawrence Success Feromi by name. Yes, as a disabled person, I think it is pertinent for us to state clearly here that there is dignity to life. As one of the contingents of Kwara State that attended the Abuja game, we all did we all performed exceedingly well there. But we want to passionately appeal to His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, Mallam AbdulRahman AbdulRazaq, to please come to the aid of persons living with disability in Kwara State. We don't want to beg, it's not an option. If possible, we had the complement of sight. I'm visually impaired. As a graduate, I don't mind to drive keke napep to earn a living. But it's not possible because we don't have the complement of sight. We have people who don't have leg. If it were possible, they would have joined the forces just to make ends meet. But it's not available to us. And we cannot in any way go into crime. But please, we want to passionately appeal once again that persons living with disability have life of dignity and we should be respected. Right to equality, right to fair treatment, right to also feed ourselves. We need it in Kwara State. Enough of we training in Kwara State and we go back home to go and drink gari, to go and sokogi. Without good feeding, we don't want it. Enough of that in Kwara State. We passionately appeal that if the governor should please come to the plight of persons living with disability, we believe that everything, our Favouritism, if properly catered for, we have what it takes to stand shoulder to shoulder with the best in the world. We have what it takes to bring Olympic medal to Kwara State.
Asked to comment on allegations leveled against him, the chairman of the Kwara State Sports Commission, Bolakale Mongaji, expressed disappointment that despite all efforts to ensure a better life for para athletes, they still didn't appreciate. He explained his side of the story and called for other principal actors in the Sports Commission to speak to the issues raised against him.
The Executive Chairman of Kwara State Sports Commission, Mallam AbdulRahman Mongaji. It is very simple. We costed to His Excellency that the state want to participate in the tournament in Abuja. Unfortunately, it was not captured in the budget. The game just came as a new game, barely 4 months. I spoke to the Excellency to please, being that this is the first time, Kwara should not be left out. So we kept on struggling whether we will go or we will not go, until on Thursday, when I was called very early in the morning that the para people has locked up all the gates in the stadium, that nobody will enter because they felt that they are being cheated, that they don't want them to participate in the game. I came and I spoke to them that by the grace of God, I will still appeal to His Excellency so that even if it's going to be minimum number, Kwara should participate in the median edition. It took me close to 3 hours to pacify them to open the gates for people so they can come to the office. After that, I selected about 5 of them to come with me to go and see the deputy governor so that the deputy governor can intervene for us. We got to him and he spoke to us and we are assured that something will happen. So we left on Thursday. By Friday, in the morning, they have gathered themselves again in the stadium, and I kept on promising them that even if I get approval, I don't mind, I'll go and look for how I'll raise the money so that it will look as if I am broken the rules of the state, because His Excellency said any tournament or championships that approval was not given to, Kwara must not partake. Good enough. We met with magnanimity of Our Excellency. He now said, you have to cut down the number of our athletes so that whatever amount he can raise for us. I plead to him to let us go with about 30. He said, okay, we should go ahead. As at that time, we don't even know how much we are going to be given. So I came back and I spoke to them, please, go and do it yourself. Give me 30 names. After about 4 or 5 hours, they could only come back with 94 names. I said, you have done more than enough. I cannot present this to His Excellency because the number you're asking for is too much. I don't know how much will be approved for us yet. So they went back. After about 30 minutes, they came back again. They said they are not going at all because they cannot see how they can do it. I said, okay, let me appeal to His Excellency so that if we can increase the number of these athletes. I was lucky. He said, okay, for as long as it's not going to affect whatever it's going to give to us, we can go ahead. As at that time, we were requesting for 15 million because the first budget was about 45 million. So just say, okay, even if it is 15 million, we can be able to take these our athletes there and they will participate for the first time. So when I told His Excellency that, Your Excellency, we have increased the number, about 45 will be going now. The Excellency now said, okay, I will give you additional money, but wait, I will call you and I will ask on how we will arrange the money for you. I am telling you that that same Friday at about 3:30 p.m. we are still sourcing for how to get money. But I told them, since Oga said he's going to do something for us, let me raise some money so that they can fix some of our vehicles, so that it won't be when we see the money that we start running up and down. So I gave them some reasonable amount to work on our vehicles. So they took the vehicle to mechanic houses and they were fixing the vehicle. They have to buy tire, they have to change engine oil, they have to do brake, they have to do so many things on the vehicles. We eventually went with 4 vehicles. So when the money came, I said, there's no how you people will travel. It is very late. Tomorrow morning, you have to leave. So we came here. All we did was, their company officials, we gave them some money on the road because we don't want them to carry cash. That all the other money will be transferred to them when they get there. But we made sure that we have paid. Out of the money that I gave to them, we have paid for all the accommodation expenses. Because if they get there and it is not paid, they won't allow them to stay in the accommodation. That included the feeding of the athletes and the accommodation. All were paid for. They got there. Later in the evening, I spoke with them because I could not go with them for other state things I'm doing around here. I dedicated the director of sports to lead the team, to be accompanied by a board member that is the para representative. That's Mrs. Abolore. So I said, let me talk to the athletes. Director, stop. Put your phone on speaker so that I can talk to our athletes. I greeted them and I told them that we are lucky, no accident, we thank God. Please be a good ambassador of the state. I will make sure I speak to His Excellency. His Excellency will come and see you over there, which I did. Only to my surprise, they started demanding for what cannot be paid. They said they wanted us to pay allowance of 5,000 naira per each athlete. I said by the budget, you cannot take 5,000 naira each. Nobody in this state ever has paid an athlete allowance for 5,000. We have been paying 2,000 to our athletes. But I look at your condition, because you are special athletes, I will ask them to increase your allowance to 3,000 each, which I did. You can verify. There's no other state that went to that tournament that got as much as what Kwara State had. And I told them that, okay, if it is 8 days, pay them for 10 days. It was then they now said, okay, please, instead of buying equipment for us, why don't you give us this money so that we can share it among ourselves? I said, no, it is not done. It is not done. That will be misappropriation. We are going to buy equipment for you. That equipment will be our personal gain in the commission, so that it will be there when next time you are going. Instead of us buying more equipment, we just go there and sign them for your use. And that was all. Only for me to see a lot of things flying about that somebody has diverted money, we have not bought equipment. They should verify before they talk. Let them find out whether we have bought equipment or not. And if they are sustained, maybe the allowance we pay them is different from what is costed for them. Let them come and find out. In fact, by the grace of God, I'm going to set up a committee that will invite them, and they will independently ask them questions and answer to see whether things are right or wrong. That's the little I have to say about what is happening.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So, the State Director, Kwara Sports Commission, Mallam AbdulRahman, who led the Kwara State contingent to the Abuja meet, explained his own side of the allegations levelled against the chairman of the commission.
I am Shehu Abubakar Olushola, the Director of Sports, Kwara State Sports Commission.
So what do you have to say concerning the allegations against the chairman? How are you involved?
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I led the team to Abuja. Before we left Ilorin, no money was paid to the commission for this festival. But the chairman, the executive chairman, thought it well that we should have something, we should have some money in our pocket to the festival. He now went around to get some money for us because there was no money from government. So we took that money to Abuja. So it was later he now sent money to us to take care of the allowances of the athletes. And I think in the past, 2,000 used to be paid to athletes in the Kwara State Sports Council. But they were demanding for 5,000 per athletes per day. But the executive chairman said there's no budget for that, that we should give them 3,000 naira. And initially, even before the festival, we got there, the money was given to the athletes. And the money is supposed to be, well, the days we spent there was 8 days. But they were requesting for 10 days. But the executive chairman saw it well and said it's okay, let's pay them the 10 days. But it's supposed to be 8 days. We spent 8 days there. But they were giving 10 days, which was 30,000 naira each to each athlete and officials.
Rey la maripa